We have another problem here. What point on the graph of y is equal to the square root of x is closest to point 5, comma 0? Okay, to approach this problem, it would be helpful if you have a little sketch of what this graph would look like. Okay, this graph would actually look like this one. This is y is equal to the square root of x. And if we are to look at 0.50, let's say this is that point. Okay. Question is, what point on this graph is closest to this? And if we are asking for the closest point, that should be the point with a perpendicular distance to this given point 5, comma 0. We are actually looking for this point with coordinate x, y. We need to find x, y. And if we are to say that this one is the closest, therefore, distance should be minimum. Distance is minimum, right? So, wala kang nakikita dito na maximum, minimum na word sa graph niya, but the word closest here tells you that this is an optimization problem. And if we are to get the minimum distance, we need to establish our distance equation. Distance equation natin is like this, no? From your analytic geometry ng mga principles, that is x2 minus x1 squared, right here. x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, ganun siya dapat. Yan. So, let's say we have here x2 natin, or the point 2 natin is this 5, comma 0, and point 1 natin is xy. So, we have here 5 minus x squared plus we have 0 minus y squared. Let's simplify what's inside our square root. We have here 5. This would be 25 minus 10x plus x squared. Plus, on this other side, we only have y squared. Okay? I will rewrite this one, your square root, ilagay natin siya as 25, or I'll write the x and y first, if that's okay with you. X squared plus y squared minus 10x plus 25 raised to 1/2. Okay, ayan yan. Ganyan yung magiging itsura niya. But that is for step 1 natin, di ba? To identify the equation to be optimized or to be minimized in this case. That's the distance equation. At ganito yung magiging itsura niya. Step 2 is, express natin siya into a single variable only. Single variable lang. And we can see here we have x and we still have y squared here. So, saan manggagaling ang kanilang relationship? Where are we going to find that another relationship? Okay, going back to our problem, what point on this graph, y equals x squared, is the closest to 0.5, comma 0? So, wala kang ibang relationship na makakita dyan than the equation itself. Okay, the equation is y is equal to the square root of x. And if you are to square both sides, that could mean y squared is also equal to x. Okay, and that would be helpful to be substituted here para ma-express natin siya into one variable lang. So this would be d is equal to x squared, y squared is x from this relationship here, plus x minus 10x plus 25. Don't forget your exponent outside na 1/2. Now, let me simplify this. X squared minus 9x plus 25 raised to 1/2. So, in one variable na siya, we can perform differentiation na. DD, that is the differentiation or the derivative of your distance D with respect to x. We have 1/2, chain rule here, 1/2 x squared minus 9x plus 25 raised to negative 1/2, because that is 1/2 minus 1, negative 1/2. And don't forget to differentiate what is inside. That would be 2x minus 9. And this entire thing should be equal to 0. Okay? So I'll rewrite this again. This would now be 2x minus 9 at the numerator. And you have, at the denominator, you have 2 times the square root. Right? Ibababa mo siya because this is a negative exponent. You put it down here and go putting it back to square root. 1/2 is a square root actually. Na? That's x squared minus 9x plus 25. And this should be equal to 0. So, if that is equal to 0, etong sa baba, by cross multiplication, this entire thing here is equal to 0. This denominator times this is 0. And that leaves us with 2x minus 9 equal to 0. Computing for x would be 2x is equal to 9. X would be 9 over 2. 9.5. Okay. Now, we can compute y because we are asking for, or we are asked to find the point, and that should be an xy coordinate. So, y natin, going back to this one, y is equal to the square root of x. That's the square root of 9 over 2. Square root of 9 is 3. We have over 2 sa baba. Don't forget, you need to rationalize this one. Multiply by square root of 2 and square root of 2. That will give you 3 square root of 2 over 2. You have this x and you have this y. So, final answer natin is a point which is 9 over 2, comma, 3 square root of 2 over 2. And it is this point here. Okay? Okay, so we have an example here. A man in a boat 6 kilometers from the nearest point P on a straight shore wishes to reach point Q. Okay? We have here a shore and we have here a man in a boat. As stated, this is 6 kilometers distance. This one is point P, and the man wishes to reach point Q, which is 12 kilometers down the shore or along the shore, straight down from point P. The man wishes to be at that point there. Okay? It was said that the man could travel dw over dt. He could travel by land. Okay, he could travel by water, by the way. He could travel by water at the rate of 4 kilometers per second. And by land, he could travel at the rate of 5 kilometers per hour. 4 kilometers per hour and 5 kilometers per hour. Okay, the question is, how far from P should he land in order to minimize his travel time? So, kumbaga pa, what the man is trying to do is from this point, gusto niya daw maabot dyan. So, syempre, at some part, gusto niya i-travel na yun by water. Tubig, dadaan siya sa tubig before siya magda-dock and he will travel by land. The question now is, if he will travel this path here, this part in water and this part on land, how far should he land from point P? What is the value of this x here? That's what the problem is. looking for. I hope clear sa inyo yung tinatanong ng problem. Okay? Ano yung distance na yan? So that the time is minimum. Total time travel is minimum. So I'll just put it here as T total. This one should be put into minimum. So, for what I've taught you kanina, for all optimization problem, the first step always is to establish the relationship that you wish to optimize. What is that equation that you wish to optimize, which is you wish to minimize or to maximize? In this case, the problem is asking us to minimize the total time travel. So, if we talk about the total time travel, let's have it as capital T. Is that equal to the time traveled along water plus the time traveled along land? Okay, again, our first step is to establish our equation to be minimized or maximized. That's the total time to be traveled. So that is the sum of the total time in water plus the total time in traveled on land. Okay, so how do we get that? Back to our motion equation, which is rate or the speed times the time is equal to distance. So if we are to look for the time would be equal to the distance traveled in water, okay, divided by, or let's just have it as capital D, so as not to confuse it with this, time traveled in water divided by the speed. That's actually your dW over dt. Same with land, okay? So for land, the same. Just use the distance for land and the dl over dt na variable natin. So if that is so, I will put it this way. Time water is dw, that's the distance for water, divided by the speed in water, which is equal to 4 kph. Okay. Adding that now to distance in land, let's say that's dl, divided by 5 kph. Okay? So, second step is to have this equation expressed in one variable. So, dapat isang variable lang ang nakikita natin on this side of the equation. May dw tayo and dl, dapat express natin sila sa parehong variable lang. Paano natin kukunin yan? Okay? Looking at this one. Okay? This is actually ang distance natin sa water, dw. Okay? Distance natin sa land is ito namang part nito. Okay, very obvious, the distance sa land is 12 minus x. Clear yun, di ba? 12 itong buo minus x, which is yung unknown, that is distance sa land. Distance sa water naman, in this case, is pwede ko ba siyang isulat as the square root of x squared plus 6 squared. Okay, that's by Pythagorean theorem. Hypotenuse is equal to the square root of x squared plus 6 squared. Okay? So, having said that, lagay natin siya dito. This would be the square root of x squared plus 36. Okay, that is from 6 squared, that's 36, over 4, plus 12 minus x over 5. So, this would be our final equation in one variable that is now ready for optimization. So, now let's perform our differentiation. We differentiate t with respect to x. Kasi yan naman yung variable na natira dito. So, that would be what is our dt over dx. So, you apply here your concept of derivative. But first, maybe I should write it this way to have it parang easier na tingnan. 1/4. Square root can be expressed as raised to 1/2. Okay? Square root is 1/2 the exponent. This would be 1/5 12 minus x. And now we can differentiate it. dt over dx. Okay? We have here 1/4. applying chain rule here, exponent going down now, 1/2. Copy the term, x squared plus 36x. Exponent minus 1, so that's 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. And don't forget to differentiate what is inside. 2x. On this side, we have 1/5 times negative 1. Okay? Simplifying it further now, we have dt over dx. That is how much? 2 will be cancelled. And so we have 1 over 4 square root of x squared plus 36. Okay? 1 na lang ang numerator, ang 4 nasa baba, and since this is a negative exponent, you are putting it down here as well. Plus or minus 1 over 5. And this should be equal to 0 for it to be fully minimized. Okay, so here's a correction here. May x pa palang natitira dito. I'll put it here na lang. X over square root of x over 4 square root of x squared plus 36 minus 1/5 equals 0. Okay? So, erase ko siguro dito kasi medyo masikip na. Okay. Now, equating this to 0, we can transfer 1/5 on the other side. That would be x over 4 square root of x squared plus 36 equal to 1/5. Cross multiplying this will give us 5x is equal to 4 square root of x squared plus 36. Rules of algebra, we can square both sides without altering the equation. This would be 25x is equal to 16 x squared plus 36. Okay, that would result to how much? This would be 16x squared plus 16 times 36 is 576. On the other side, we have 25x. Okay? We're almost done now. Oh, sorry, this should be x squared as well. I'm sorry, okay? Correction. So that is our equation. Okay? So you just replay it. I need to erase this one for our solution. Let me continue this part here. Okay? So transferring 16 on the other side would give us 9x squared equal to 576. Dividing both sides by 9, that would give us x squared equals 64. Taking square root, x is positive negative 8 kilometers. But what is most acceptable here is always the positive distance. Okay? So this is our final answer. Dapat daw the boat will travel this path here and then maglaland siya 8 kilometers straight from P. And then, ta-travel na siya by land for the remaining 4 kilometers. Okay? That is for a minimum time.